Hey guys, Horizon Forbidden West is done. I know it's late, but it's better here than never, right? Quick promo update is the G Fuel. G Fuel is 50%, no, 100% off. Get a free tub. Buy a tub, get a free tub. So that's the deal going on right now. Click down the link down below. Grab yourself some G Fuel. Thank you for supporting us, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Check it out. Wow, I just can't get over how beautiful this game is. The environments, the scenery, everything. I mean, even Aloy looks amazing.
What? Oh, there!
I mean, the way that she moves, the way that she's animated. I mean, her hair is a little weird. Why is it jumping around? What is her hair doing? That ain't right. Oh, okay. So everything but her hair is amazing. Hey guys, welcome to our Horizon Forbidden West review discussion. It has been, I know, about a month since the game has come out, but I refuse to let this one go, even if we have to do it in this quick format. We'll probably talk about it for a while.
Yeah.
But Horizon Forbidden West is a game I definitely want to cover because after ultimately being really cold on Horizon as a franchise, for me, not really investing myself in it, there was just something I couldn't quite put my finger on that made me not that interested in it. But for review, because I had to play it, I'd say about halfway in, I got hooked. And then I really, really enjoyed the second half of this particular game. And even if it's not 100% gripping right away for me, it did that towards the end, but initially I could see that Horizon Forbidden West is better in every way from the original. We're talking bigger, we're talking better, we're talking the most beautiful graphics I have actually played in a long time. It is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played.
Yeah, it really puts the PS5 to it's testing it.
Definitely. Everything looks so amazing. The foliage, the biomes, the water, even underwater
see the peach
stuff.
fuzz.
And you see the peach fuzz.
Shut
They're
up.
uglier. No, it's like, it looks amazing. And they look good. But they changed her face. She's very ugly. She might be the worst, most ugliest person I've ever seen in my entire life now. And the game is literally unplayable now.
She has little hairs on her face.
Yeah, she has a beard. I can fucking see it from here. 0 out of 10. This is woke garbage. I'm done. Done. I'm not playing. Even the NPCs, the extreme detail when you're zooming in, and the game has a great photo mode to do that. That must look good. God damn. How is there just... I mean, this is a fucking technical marvel. That look good.
Look at the flowers.
The flowers are growing
going
and
out.
dissipating.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. This shit is fucking crazy, man.
The fur, the fur on his thing. That's the one thing that always looks so bad and looks so good.
Look at that.
I am impressed. And it has a lot of variety of locations. You know, you got beaches in addition to the stuff that we've seen in the first game, winter stuff. And if we're talking purely graphics and technical design and
It's
stuff
up there.
like that, and lighting and textures, it's a 10 out of 10. It truly is. Yeah, this game is so fucking beautiful.
Right?
The biome is just so crazy. The clouds, the lighting, the atmosphere, just everything, the detail, the flowers. Don't forget the flowers.
Can you imagine? This is what Halo could have
The
looked like.
butterflies. Holy shit! If Halo looked like this shit, forget about
But
it.
they made Halo for Xbox One instead. And there's like, no. But like, this is what Halo could look like.
Easily for this kind of stuff. But that is not everything in gaming. It's not just the way it looks. Because
No.
it looks really good. That look good. I was saying that the whole fucking time. That look good. That look good. That look good. That look good.
This world
Better
is
look
your
good.
legacy, Elizabeth.
Why?
I won't let it
PS5,
slip
next
away.
gen.
What do you guys think about Horizon Zero Dawn? Or-
Right.
I always
Yeah,
say
you
that.
always say that.
Always
Forbidden
say
West. We'll just
Forbidden
call it
West.
Forbidden West. I thought it was visually, it was spectacular. I loved everything about it. But it did take like an hour or so just to get past the recaps and the story and everything. It was super slow, but then it started picking up.
Yeah,
I
pacing
love
was
the
a
new
little off.
combat that they have, like the wheels. There's like new ways to take down the enemies and whatnot. There's so many gadgets. Poisonous gases.
Need more ammo.
Clever bastard.
They always jump over it. They always do.
No, not this time.
Oh my God, there's so many weapons in this game.
Yeah.
Maybe even too many weapons. There's so many weapon
That's what I
types.
love about it. The
So
gameplay.
much.
I love the gameplay. Like I like the combat and just trying to utilize different aspects of the game. But the thing that really dragged it down was the story.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I didn't want to talk to anyone because I knew I would have to be there for like 30 minutes. I was like, I want to go out and explore, do
Yeah.
something, but I have to
There's
talk to
some
this
weird
person.
weird
I
things
don't
with the
want
story
to.
in this. You get stuck in massive dialogue dumps.
And that pulls you out of the game.
It does kind of pull you out.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. 30 minutes later, I was like, oh, fuck.
I
what-
was
what
trying to
I
put my
supposed to do?
finger on it. Like, why didn't I care? Even though this is some of the most amazing voice acting, this is movie level stuff. Best in the industry, really. Fantastic talent. And I even took notes here as I was watching. I was like, the dialogue cutscenes are the best in the industry. The characters are expertly animated, expertly lip synced, choreographed like it was a movie. And
Just didn't grab
it's-
you.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just the thing is, yeah, and they're moving around. They're not just. It's not just Skyrim or something where they're just in one spot. They're moving around. They're blocking and all this other good stuff. But the problem is what they were saying. I didn't give a shit about, and I don't understand why I couldn't really get invested. Do you know why this is, Alex?
I mean, I absolutely loved the first game, and I don't remember the first game having this level of issue where there was repetitive expedition dumps. And what kind of made the problem worse is you start talking to somebody, and then they explain the situation. That's like, what's wrong with their tribe, what they want you to do.
Yeah.
And then you get a wheel of options that you re-go through all the points they just made.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, oh, yeah.
It's not compelling. You could skip through it all, but then what's the?
Well, sometimes you
what's
can
the
skip
point?
through it all, but sometimes you have to find the right one to get you out of the conversation.
All right, it's time to save the world again. I better connect to my focus, see what's going on.
Thank you for calling Horizon Customer Service. Please note that our menu options have changed. For extended and repetitive exposition dumps, please press 1. For extended and repetitive exposition dumps with unnecessary NPC horniness, please press 2. For exposition dumps that result in dialogue options that rehash the exposition dumps with no way out, please press 3. For expedited exposition,
4. Option 4.
you have selected option 4, expedited exposition, followed by extended exposition and double NPC horniness.
Oh, god damn
Thank
it.
you for calling Horizon Customer Service. Whether you like it or not, we will be contacting you later about conducting a survey. Goodbye.
And there are times where I'm trying to find the right option where it's just like, dude, I gotta go. I don't need
It's
the extra
usually bottom left.
Yeah, I don't need the horniness that's coming from you. Like, everyone is in love with
Before
me.
you go, you
Okay,
see
all right.
anyone?
Yeah, it's like, hey, what's up?
Brought out only the good stuff for you, Red. Seeing as you got that whistle blowing.
Yeah, that's his post
I've been waiting
whistle.
to get my lucky hammer fixed for days.
Shut up, bitch. Talking to Aloy.
Have you? Take your time. I promise you won't be disappointed.
So I just think the issue is in the beginning of the game, they were trying to dump so much exposition, trying to get you caught up
Yeah.
to speed. And I don't think that they got the balance right. And so I think that for you, I mean, like you said, it's hard to get into the first part because they didn't do a great job with the dialogue and the flow of conversations in the first half. And then when things actually start to happen in the second half, you need that exposition. You need to figure out what's happening with the story so I don't mind it as much.
Yeah, I think the prologue lasted a little too long. So I'm going to jump into the pros and the cons of the game, and we're going to go ahead and give it a final score since we kind of gave our overall on the game. I think we all liked it. So obviously in the pros category, we've got it's better in every way than the original. Literally every system has been touched and improved on from the original, and that's what you want in your sequels. They really nailed it there, the studio. Most beautiful game, great voice acting. Now, the story for me is more interesting than the original. What can I say without spoiling it? Because I don't want to spoil it. The sci-fi has been ramped up here. Let me say that. The sci-fi has been ramped up, and that's what I'm saying. About the midway point, something happens, a new faction shows up, and you're like, okay, this is when I started to get invested in the universe and the story. Another thing that it did really well is it almost kind of mimics Mass Effect a little bit, where you're collecting kind of companions, you know, previous characters that you've seen in the other games. Those are some great side quests, and this is some good side quests and boring side quests. But you kind of collect everybody and you put them in a station area, so it has that, and you can come back and talk to them like you would in Mass Effect, and then they all come together. I think there's about 7 or 8 of them, and then you go out to the final battle, right? So I like that aspect. But I think the biggest thing that saves this game for me, even though I may not be invested in its the different I think why I'm cold on it is the tribal stuff. Like, I don't care about your tribe and what culture you do here and what fucking traditions you have and all these other things. Like, roll my eyes. Like, God, it's just another fucking obstacle for me to have to get. Okay, now I gotta Hubitu and Uati and Tanath and you know, it's like, I don't give a shit. Let's fight, kind of thing, right? But it did get more interesting as you went along. But what saves it is gameplay. I mean, gameplay is king here. Traversal, the world, it's absolutely perfect. A lot of people say that this is PlayStation's Breath of the Wild, right? Because you got your glider, and it's really fun. They add a whole new free climb system that makes it way more like Assassin's Creed. Obviously, you still have the yellow areas, right? But it feels like you can.
Everywhere, yeah.
It feels like you can go everywhere in this one with this new traversal system. You got mounts, as we've seen before, but like you can get some really impressive mounts. The grappling hook that we liked so much from like Halo. So, but this one is specific contextual areas. But traversal is really great, and gameplay is king because combat is so deep. You mentioned it before. That the focus that she uses, the little Dorito chip, can see see the different pieces. You shoot off, you can strip off pieces
that you need,
which then you can craft and get new weapons and get new, armors. And so that way that you can approach the fights in either a kind of a stealth manner, an intelligent manner, or try to brute force it, is just the fun part of it. And then, of course, the machine design.
Jumping off a giant rock face to stab a pterodactyl robot in the back of the neck. I mean, like, how do you not have fun doing stuff like that? You're sneaking through the grass and then it's like right up Main Street on the weasel ones. It's like, it's good.
And I must have died like 15 times to the bigger ones. Now, the snake ones, those are kind of directed boss battles where there's things to help you, but there's stuff like I had to take on one of the elephants and I wasn't ready because I was under leveled.
Man. The hippos will get you.
You need to the hippos. This was the
hippos.
fucking
It's on me! No, I couldn't get to it.
Hey, look, you got another one down.
Well, that was a tough fight.
Huge elephants that killed me because I was way under level, like 4 or 5 levels under. So I had to go and do more story or side quests so that I can catch up into the story to be on the level. But everything is so deep. 6 skill trees. I'm like, what the fuck? And in those skill trees, you got passive bonuses. You got active skills. You got a surge that she puts paint on her face, and then she like gets a little boost. And it reminds me almost of at least the gameplay, the most fun bits of the game, Monster Hunter, because you're like fighting and taking pieces off and then putting pieces on and getting pieces for you, and that's good. It's good comparison to have to Monster Hunter. And then they did a great job on the living world. The map is awesome. There's tons of activities. Let me even just lay them out for you. So you got the main story, side quests, main quest, side quests, errands, jobs, salvage contracts, hunting grounds, the melee pit, the arena, rebel camps, rebel outposts, the same, relic ruins where you have to figure out puzzles and shit, and some of these really fucking pissed me off. Tall necks, cauldrons, gauntlet runs, collectibles. I mean, that's 15 different activities, and that's not counting the races, because at one point you can find little races that you can, shoot each other off of horseback kind of things, and motherfucking chess, machine strike, so fun.
That was a fun game.
A ton of fun. So it's like 17 different things. You get your money's worth, and this is why I like the game. Not so much. Now we got to go to cons. Do you guys have any cons?
Cons, my biggest one is actually the fucking story. And the dialogue just feels like I just feel like I'm just like listening to an audiobook.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm making any choices. I'm like, okay, this is about us. There's reading. I'm like, okay, bye.
You just nailed it there. There's not much choice. And that's because the feeling of all the dialogue, every single dialogue is the same, because Aloy has all of the information. She's like the savior, and she knows it all, and all these tribes know nothing. They just know that she's the savior. So every time she talks with somebody, it's the same fucking thing, right? And that's why it's like either they're worshiping her, that you notice, like this hero worshiper, they fall in love with her, and it gets repetitive and boring that you can't have some interesting conversations until that faction shows up about in the middle of the game, and then you're like, what the fuck? Who are these people? How is this factoring in? And it gives way. That really long, huge prologue in the beginning gives way to the actual game. So I'd say the actual game almost starts halfway through. You might have just played through a lot of the prologue where you were feeling that, but I totally agree that the pacing's not great of the story.
Yeah, the pacing's not great. I almost think that if they had just done actual full cutscenes instead of dialogue options, things would have been smoothed over.
Yeah,
they could have been more concise. I don't need you to
Come
explain
and
to
go.
me this part 3
It's all
times
anything
within
I've
the
seen
same,
before.
discussion wheel.
You called yourself a grave singer. What does that mean?
I sing at
To all living
graves.
things,
Self-explanatory.
an end must come. It is my task to ease thy
Aloy, come on.
bring
It's in the
comfort,
name.
and sing of the renewal that death sows the way for. But I
What is a grave singer?
never thought
Well,
I heard
you
you're a
see-
wind
one
talker.
of
What
our
do you
men.
do? Well, Aloy,
Well,
I talk in the wind.
what
What's
I
that?
what I do is I mend soles on shoes.
What?
That is a grave singer. Aloy.
A little misleading.
But I don't hate it, but it's definitely nowhere near as good as
Yeah.
the gameplay.
Yeah. And
That's a saving grace.
Yeah.
Yea, for as the first shall be kept.
Shut up. Why the delay?
Good.
And yeah, that even applies to the companions. It's like they're not that compelling. Even like the companions that you get, I'm
I'm
like,
better off alone.
nobody questions anything. You're just there's no conflict. It's just like this rosy look of everything. It's it's crazy. And there's honestly a problem because there is a problem with the villain. There's like no charismatic or interesting villain.
Now I have your shield.
Now he's naked.
Your turn. Come down here and face me.
No!
I'm scared.
It's an honorable challenge. You've earned your life today.
Come down here and face me.
No!
Did this bitch say no? We get some villains that were actually introduced in the first game, and we actually get a really cool thing. I don't want to spoil it, but Pharaoh, we get his fate in this one. That was kind of cool, but he's not like the villain of this game. And so it's more, you got the Utaru clan, and you got the Tanath, which is the people that are in the West that are kind of broken into 3 different clans, and then I'm not interested in any of these clans. And then you got Regalia, who's like this evil lady, and her tribe is evil, and the rebel, and you got to fight her. It's like, okay, but whatever. And the Quen towards the end gets a little more interesting because you're mixing in more like they know a little bit more than the rest of the clans, and so you're like, and it's almost like a bastardized version of. They kind of worship, but all of them kind of worship, the technology and stuff. But the Quen in particular started to get more fascinating. But I felt like there was a little bit of a villain problem there, and just tons of sob stories. Like I was just like, I couldn't stand listening to Alva talk. She's towards the end of the game. Just this Quen is like this and that. It's like. Shut up. Just shut up. I gotta bring back information or else this clan won't do this.
The whole world is dying.
Care.
I don't want to know this. This is not why I'm here. I need the wisdom of my ancestors to help save my people, not forbidden knowledge of their sins. I need to find something that helps, something to bring back. The overseers will punish me.
Stop. Let me do my job. Let me resurrect Gaia and all this other shit and figure this out. And so that's one of the cons. And then there's minor glitches here, but actually in my playthrough, I didn't really run through very many of them. Sometimes, some clipping, somebody gets stuck, but I could totally forgive these because of how beautiful the game is and the scale of the game. There's some pop-in on some buildings, especially when you're going to the Las Vegas type of area, but it's very, very forgiving. And then the only other thing I can think about to talk about the game is the soundtrack. I don't remember a single thing. Joe, sing me a part of the Horizon.
Yeah.
Huh?
There you go.
Yeah. I don't, there's like not a track. I wish there was like a track that I remember.
The only thing I can remember is when you go visit the tribe that are in the choir, have the choir. That's the only musical thing at all about the whole game.
And I was like, please stop.
Yeah. I've got hooked.
Who's dropping them sick beats?
Please stop this. Please stop singing.
Speak.
Yeah. So okay. So those are the cons, but a lot of pros with that. So let's go to final thoughts and final verdicts. One of y'all.
Final verdict for me. For me, I'm gonna go with an 8. I really love the combat. I can't speak enough about that one. But at the same time, like, you already know what to do. It's like, oh, this is a type of machine. All right, get this out. Bam, done.
Yeah.
But you're just going through the motions. You go through your little wheel, do everything. But I still loved it. It gets kind of tedious trying to craft some stuff that you want. Dialogue again for me just felt like an audiobook.
Yeah.
And it just, none of the tribes captivated me. I'm like, I don't care about these
that's
tribes.
me. And then Aloy, her sort of internal conflict of living up to Elizabeth and being the hero of the earth, and it's not that compelling to me. It's just anyway.
No, that's the same way I felt. I was like, okay, cool story, man. Now I'm gonna go kill some more dinosaurs, some more fucking whatever.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
the final faction.
Just that My other gripes about that was,
So 8 out of 10 then?
yeah, 8 out of 10. Because I honestly, if they would have had a better tribes, some more compelling, some badass music whenever there was fights or something to make it feel more alive, then I would have raised it up to 9.
Yeah.
But for me, just like an 8. I had fun with it. I'll play it every so often again. But yeah,
And that's about as high as I.
that's as high as I
yeah.
can go. I can't go with a 9 because for that,
You need that story element.
Yeah.
To it and the characters. What about you?
Yeah,
Alex?
I'm struggling between an 8 and 9 myself. I think that I absolutely love the gameplay. I really like the world. I love going. I mean, there's
Exploration's
mountain climbing, and then you're going through like Las Vegas. There's so many cool places that you go through. I love, crafting explosive spears and, just watching machines explode and
pieces
anytime,
fall off, grabbing those pieces, using them against them.
Anytime I'm not talking to someone in the game, it's great.
Yeah.
And that is
the key
That's
thing.
And then just your jaw dropping at the fucking, environments.
Yeah.
It just makes me wish that I was playing in a different universe, one that I cared a little bit more about. But it starts to get
that's what
more
kinda
interesting
sucks.
towards the end.
Yeah, and then it was kind of hard because, I'm kind of simultaneously playing a lot of Elden Ring and this, and one game is very bare bones. They don't give you any information. This one is this is too much of an exposition dump. You're climbing an ice mountain. It's like, I have to get hired to get the signal. I have to get hired to get the signal.
I forget
It's like,
what-
I fucking
forget-
know. I fucking know.
Yeah,
I have to get hired to get the
constantly-
signal.
She constantly talks to herself, like, and I just want, just shut up.
Maybe I can jump to that ledge behind me. Should be able to jump back and reach those ropes behind me.
Aloy really knows how to help herself by talking to herself a lot. She's helping Joe, but
I thought Silence was helping me when he gave me Silence.
that's because you're an idiot.
Looks like he tricked me.
Sometimes
I
she'll
know,
help
we gotta
you solve
do-
puzzles,
Yeah.
and I guess it's helpful for when you forget, but when you already know what to do, you're like, bitch, I was already doing that, you shut your mouth.
But I have to get hired to get the signal. It's like,
We're
I know.
almost there.
I wish there was some way you could just turn her off sometimes.
Yeah,
for that.
and so I think that the actual story itself on a storyboard is excellent. I really loved the interjection of sci-fi. I wish it had a stronger ending, but they're sequel baiting super hard.
Oh, there's definitely going to be a third
yeah,
game or DLC or a combination of
something else. And so it didn't have the really impactful, strong ending because they're waiting for the next one to kind of wrap everething up. And
But
that's
this one, do you agree, is better in every way than the first?
other than the dialogue itself, because I don't remember having this much trouble with the dialogue.
Like rolling your eyes.
Yeah, or I'm not rolling my eyes. And like there was a time where I put the controller down and I was just like, you are fucking shitting me. This is the worst thing I've played in this whole series. We'll talk about it in spoilers. As far as dialogue, the way the dialogue goes. But I still think this game is super worth playing. It is really good. But I think I am going to go an 8. I would have given the original one, I don't know, probably about the same.
We are in agreement because my
8
final
so
verdict
man.
for Horizon Zero Dawn was an 8 out of 10. And like Joe, this is the highest I can give. If the story was compelling a little more, maybe the characters were a little more compelling, we would have got into 9-10 territory. And the universe, 9-10 territory. This game has it in it. So if you've rated it a 9 and a 10 because you're really into Aloy, you're really into the universe of Horizon, I totally get it and I understand because this is them at their best, honestly. It's just I wish that the characters, the villains, and the universe was slightly more compelling with me. Maybe it's because I'm just not into the tribal stuff. I liked when it hit sci-fi, that second half of the game, and maybe we're going to eventually get there. I'm actually excited for the third game because it seems to be that this is what I've been waiting for, and this is what I want. So you've
Hopefully
got
they
me on
tone some
board
of the
now.
stuff down.
Yeah, you've got me on board now. 8 out of 10. And if I were to rate the original, by the way, it would be like a 6 or a 7. I think I would probably go with a 7. I was at a 6 when we stopped playing it because we were about to review it, but then I just kind of dropped off because I was like, I don't care. If again, I couldn't push myself to like care. This one, I pushed myself for this review, and then I actually started to care about halfway through. So, And what's weird is when I look at the ratings, since it's been a month later, almost all the ratings for the original are higher than they are for the sequel. And that just shows me how overhyped that original was, because this one is better in every way. Seriously. I have gone and played the original, and then you play this one right next to it, and you see a massive, massive difference. This is really, really impressive, especially when you compare them side by side in animations, in environments, in character models, in
You tech trees.
tech trees, even shooting trees, Joe. It's fucking impressive. It's weird. Like the fucking arrows like bounce, and then previously it just like, and you're just like, well, and so it doesn't initially look like it, right? Other than, wow, this looks impressive, but like everything has been touched. So it's really, really cool. So that's why I'm going to go with highest I can give it, an 8 out of 10. I also failed to mention the customization. I like the customization.
Yeah, that's what I
Tons
like
of different
about it.
armors. You can even dyes for your armors. That machine strike, I gotta say, not quite as good as Gwent, to where it can break off and have its own game, but it is really, really good, and you can spend hours and hours in machine strike, which I did, and I quite enjoyed, because I like those kinds of chess and turn-based mini games within an open world. Anytime a game has that kind of stuff, I really like. So yeah, that's my opinion, and our opinion rather, of Horizon Forbidden West. 8 out of 10. That's going to be it for this section. We'll talk a little bit about spoilers here afterwards. If not, thank you guys so much for watching. Glad to have finally got this one out, and we're going to be focusing on Elden Ring next. All right, we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. Hey, welcome to, since this is a spoiler section, since this is an angry review discussion, Alex, what were you, let's jump right in. Alex, so what I was talking about is Ted Faro, the guy from the original, actually has his own bunker in this with his own big statue, and he managed to live forever and then be worshipped kind of as this deity, and it was really, really gross because he had a doctor helping him try to, cheat death. And he found a way to do it. So he's still alive in this game, Joe, but he is a fucking grotesque, horrible, mutated mess. And you don't see him. And it's like, damn it, I want to see him.
Next time.
But I don't want to see him because he's behind this door, right? So there's a guy, CEO, which is obviously CEO, from the Quen that I was talking about, the final sort of tribe in this game that's very technology-based, like the Pacific guys that have some more technology, and they're like, they know about a lot of this stuff. And then he's like, he goes and looks, and then he comes back. It goes from worshiping him to burn it.
Kill everyone in here. No one can know.
And then also kill all these guys.
No witnesses.
Yeah. Obviously, you get out of it. And but I just thought, so that was kind of cool. There's cool lore bits in here. But basically, there was this game focuses on the far zeniths, which everybody, it was super technologically advanced. You get on the ship, and they were planning on leaving. And this was kind of before the Earth started to fall apart. And then those plans got accelerated, and they were cooperating with the Horizon program, but secretly was going to steal Gaia so that they can terraform their own planet, right? Because that makes sense. But then their tech guy, Matthew McConaughey, kind of makes a fake Gaia, and they couldn't get it, and all this other bullshit. The story gets a little complex, a little convoluted there. There's basically kind of corporate warfare a little bit. But essentially, the faction that flew away in the ship, you had read that they exploded or something, but it was a lie. They actually made it, and now they came back, and that's what I've been talking about for the second half of the game. They show up, they're fucking floating, they got goddamn shields, and they got
those creature things,
slithering creature things. I wish it was a little more distinct from, because it does share similarities, and it should share similarities, but it was like, I wish they were a little more unique and distinct and different, because they all look the same, little sentinels type of things. And you can't do shit. they're fucking way more advanced than you. And I like that. And I was like, how the fuck are we gonna figure this
got
out?
And I really like the
arrow.
explanation. Like, I really like the explanation because when they first showed up, I was super worried that they're like, how do you possibly? You can't. You are tribal spear users.
Yeah.
And they're like, how could you possibly do it? And you're like, oh, okay, something more powerful than them told you how to beat them. And you find out at the very end. And it's like, okay, this totally makes sense. I was, I'm like, you're not going to explain it well. And the thing that I had.
Well, Silence is the one that kind of figures out how it breaks their shield.
Yeah, Nemesis is who sent the information to Hades, and Silence
right.
figured it out. So it's like their bad guy told it's like this is how you beat these assholes.
Well,
And
their
it's like,
bad guy is them. Nemesis is them.
Yeah.
It's okay. So here's another thing, Joe. So then so you got this faction, right? Which I don't even know if it's possible because it would be 81 trillion kilometers to Sirius, which is their planet, right? So that's what, 8.611 light years? And I wrote it down from what they were saying.
You're like,
I was like, how the
far?
fuck did they get here? Because it would be 29 years to get here. Or 13 years. So I was trying to do the math, and I was like, all right, fine.
It's been 1,000 years or something like that.
Out loud.
Yeah,
It's been a
you're
long.
right,
It's
you're
been
right.
a long time. I don't know. It's been a long, long time. And when they first showed up, I was like,
Yeah, but it was 29 years until they got the signal, or they knew about the Earth, and they went back to the Earth to try to get Gaia, to try to get the elements to save themselves. Because what the real thing is they're running from their own shit, and there's another faction, and it's Nemesis, and it destroyed their whole fucking shit on their planet Sirius. And it's like a AI kind of thing, but they were experimenting with immortality kind of stuff, like digital immortality. Their minds, can live on, but then they kind of, I guess, fucked it up, and then it got cut off. And so it's a bunch of Zenith minds that are amalgamated into, I guess, a
rogue AI. Yeah.
And now that Nemesis is coming, and that's going to be the third game. And I don't know, is Nemesis just going to use a bunch of Sentinels? I hope not, because you need a little bit more variety in the enemies, right?
I would hope
Aloy's
so.
going to get an upgrade in weapons.
Aloy,
Personal shield, like,
Personal
yeah,
shield.
they'll have to do
And she's going to
something.
use Zenith stuff, yeah.
It's got to.
And so
That's
because, the Zeniths start floating around and firing hand cannons and stuff, I was like, there's no way there's going to be a betrayer, and there is. There's a lady that helps you out.
I hated that so much. That was the dumbest thing in the entire game. When they
And what was her reason? Because, again, the thing that Alex hates the most is she just loves Aloy.
Everyone is in love with Aloy, and so as soon as the aliens show up, I
Aloy.
was like, "What do you want to bet one of the aliens falls in love with Aloy?" Well, the alien's been in love with Aloy for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb. Not ever. It is such.
There's such hero worship. And you could just hear the writers writing. Yeah.
And she
it's-
loves Aloy too.
There are just so many like
I love you. Like,
worship
what?
in it, and I get it because I mean we worship fucking a bunch of heroes too, but I don't know why it feels so weird and distant here. Anyways, okay, so
So when she reveals, like, "Oh, I'm in love with you," it's like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
stop!"
Kinda, and then she helps her, right? But then she's like, all right, you got to come with me because. You are so perfect.
I've loved you for
Basically.
1,000 years, and I gotta-
Elizabeth you're the perfect version. I don't want Beta because you find the clone, because they have their own clone to help them. But no, you're the perfect.
so mean
So
to
then she
Beta.
has to fight, and then she kills. So there's several little villains. Who aren't that interesting? I don't even remember the
This is- I
other
gotta
far
remember the
Zenith
names.
guys' names. Like Eric.
Eric, yeah, there's a
And
G something, and then she was like T something.
ain't gonna be in the sequel. His name. Gerard or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
We'll call him Geary.
Gary. And then Silence, who you think, at some point you think you're gonna fight him in the game. You're trying to reach him and stuff, and then he has his own motives because he loves the treasure trove of information, and he just loves that shit. And he's like, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna leave. But then he's like, at the end, he's like, all right, I'll fucking stay here.
It was so funny. Aloy walks up to him. She's like, "You orchestrated this whole thing. Why not? Didn't you just tell me in the very beginning?" And I was like,
another thing. I was like, that's another
and then he
thing
comes
that
up with a
pissed me off.
reason that I don't buy. But I'm like, all right, at least you did the effort to try to explain why he hides this whole thing.
There's a lot of that.
But
that
they're
happened in
there
the
to
game.
all take on Nemesis when he comes. And
Yeah.
I am on for the third game. And I'm actually excited for the third
Yeah.
game. Whereas in Horizon Forbidden West, I was looking at it with distance. I was like, that's beautiful. I definitely want to play it for the beauty, but I'm not going to be into the story. And then I wasn't into it. And, you know, my cousins played, and I told them to buy it, and they're like, I just couldn't get into it, Joe, you know. And I was like, I understand. And it's just some people just can't get into. But yeah, power through it, and then you will really, I think, enjoy it. At least where the story is going now. So, what else? Any other spoilers? So we got Pharaoh's fate. It's gross. We don't actually see it. I do want to see it. I guess he's dead because the whole fucking thing kind of
Caves in. Yeah.
Maybe they might be able to do something with him in the future if they want to, but
He's
I
probably
doubt
already
it.
putty, so he caved in. He's fine.
Yeah. Las
Get a shot
Vegas is resurrected because it's like this fucking desert. Again, great biomes, lots of variety of biomes, but there's all this water, and then they're able to bring back Las Vegas, and these three guys are gonna resurrect Las Vegas again. What else?
Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately the game did end. They did kind of overcome what they wanted to overcome, but they, as quickly as that happened, they kind of revealed the big bad. And so it was kind of a tease where it kind of lowered the impact of this game, but it heightened my anticipation for the next one.
Game,
Which, I mean...
It did its job. It did its job then.
Yeah, I guess so.
There is just... everybody is just... as far as like character ratings, I would give like everybody's like a 6 out of 10, and there's tons and tons and tons and tons and 6 out of 10s within a 10 out of 10 game, and so it's just real weird because it's like, God damn it, I need this. Like, where is Garen? Where is Shepard? Where is these kinds of things that you get excited about? Some people get excited about Aloy, and it's just not me, or any of her companions. It's just not me, and I wish there was. Yeah. So, oh boy, when you finally get Gaia going again, it felt like I put the controller down, Joe, because it felt like it was going to be a huge fetch quest. Because she was like, boop, beep, beep, boop, boop. These are all the 8 or 9 separate AIs that need to be collected, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not fucking
I'm not doing
and
this.
that's probably where my cousins quit. It's like, no, it's not really that. Thankfully, this story only makes you collect like 3 of them or 4, maybe. I think 3. Ether, Poseidon.
8 tops.
Yeah. After you do Minerva, and then there's Hephaestus and. Anyways, but I was like, I see where people can like, nah, man.
Intended, you find me here.
But why? What was this place?
'Cause it smells like farts in this cave. He thought it would be funny. Data error. Memory structures disintegrated.
Yeah.
But you push through it, and it gets good because the graphics,
I just like the
those dialogues,
customization in that.
customization.
Yeah, I get the just
Approaching-
badass gear with Aloy.
Just get bullet time early. If you're jumping into the game,
Yes,
get
you have
extended
to,
bullet time
and
early.
Just push all your shit into that. Any the arrow and slowing time, and then doing double damage with the paint face upgrade.
Yeah, because you're really gonna need that when you need the parts. Stupid horns. Stop moving. I need these horns.
And I think I've covered everything. Let's see, constantly talking to herself. A very diverse game. Plenty of female characters. Just like everybody you talk to is like a female, and all the guys are idiots, or they just I'm just playing. But there's tons and tons of people asking you for favors. Is what I wrote, and I'm like, yeah.
I
there's
need a new
lot.
arm. It's like, fuck. Okay.
But that's kind of how these games go. It's
yeah,
just
these
maybe
open world ones. I don't mind it. Just exploring. That's
Mm-hmm.
it's basically what I found myself doing. Just doing a lot of side quests, powering up, and just exploring. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is over here? It looks fucking sweet.
So maybe get McGordon to do the soundtrack for the next game. Obviously not. I need some get that soundtrack going in the third game, and hopefully
Give me some drums. That's all I need.
Nemesis,
all right?
yeah, drums, and hopefully Nemesis will be awesome. But yeah, All right, so that's our discussion on Horizon Forbidden West. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Now, which do you prefer? Horizon, because they both came around the same time. Horizon Forbidden West or Elden Ring?
Elden
Alex?
Ring.
Elden Ring.
I beat Elden
I
Ring
thought-
5
I thought
times
that,
already.
Joel. I thought
That's what
what
like
you would
well,
say.
yeah, it's already higher.
I can see they're two diametrically opposed games. If
Yeah.
you want a handheld and you want directed story and you want like a fucking movie, you go with Horizon. If you want gameplay, like fuck this fucking piece of shit game
about
that
the
I
gameplay.
fucking
The gameplay was
love,
amazing.
then you go Elden Ring.
They're both amazing gameplay, but one's superior.
It's so rough because
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And now I see why some of those Horizon guys was like, fuck that game. This game's not as good as ours. And then everybody's playing Elden Ring. And
Yeah, I mean that's their fault. They did this the last time too with Breath of the Wild because they released Horizon like the same week as Breath of the Wild last time.
Yeah.
So release your game at different times and maybe I mean I could have given this a higher
And
score.
I looked at all the videos and stuff and the excitement around Horizon. It's less because it's on a single platform. So like those only one group of people get to play. So people are less looking that up, less buying it. More people are doing Elden Ring since it's very multi-platform. But Horizon Forbidden West is a great reason to own a PS5.
But I saw that meme. It's pretty funny where it's like the kids jumping into the pool. It's Elden Ring, and then Forbidden West is kind of like drowning, and then the bottom and sinking is dying light.
Oh
Yeah.
I was
The
like,
pool meme.
I can see, the pool meme.
Pretty
So,
much
yeah,
right
dying-
now.
yeah,
That's
that's
what was
basically
happening.
how it is.
And what was happening a few weeks ago as well. All right, guys, that's it for us, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
For exposition dumps that result in dialogue options that rehash the exposition dumps with no way out, please press 3. For expedited exposition,
4. Damn it, my chip filler.
Mitten's gonna eat the chip.